I was not asked to speak, I demanded to speak. This
How
may
do you
take a
focus?
while.
Focus. It's not focusing.
82 pages. This will be a little one. I'm only kidding. I'm totally kidding. Very happy with me and my daughter, who's over here, flew in today. We drove up. We followed the directions. Go down Peach Street, take a right at the Waffle House, go down Peach Street, take a right at the Waffle House. We got to the hotel. We had a nice time. We walked over here, though. Got a little sweaty. But on the way, this dog was attacking a young child. I jumped in, I subdued the dog. The parents came over, they were so happy. They were just so happy. And then this southern gentleman walks over. He looks at me and he says, "Son, I am the editor of the Thomasville Gazette, and you are going to be on the front page of my paper. The front page will say, Thomasville man saves gallantly a young child." I said, "Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not from Thomasville." "No problem. Georgia man saves child from vicious attack." "Well, sir, I'm from Boston, Massachusetts." And he hesitates. I go, "What do you think it will be now?" "Damn Yankee hurts family pet." Well, what are you going to do? But I'm here to maybe bring a little Irish to this, if that's okay. I believe to give an Irish speech, this is my classically trained bartender daughter. And to give an Irish speech, you have to have a proper pint. So I'm being proper. So what we also do when we're being Irish is we get sentimental. Been a tough year. By the way, when you're Irish, you cry and laugh in the same minute, just so you know. So I'm going to go very emotional on your time. And from when this wedding was originally planned, I believe there would have been more people. I found that out recently, and it affects me because I'm an orphan. I lost my mother last year. I lost my dad when I was in my 40s. It's really tough. And right now, I wish there was a older gentleman here saying, I believe the phrase is "yeah, boy." Is that the right phrase? So I think we get sentimental as Irish, and I think we should remember that. And I think there's a lot of people looking down right now on this wedding. And I think we're in a Rose City, I believe. And maybe this could just symbolize everyone is looking down. You know, and we should take a moment and think of them. And I think, you know, if you want to be Irish, you got to cry, you got to weep, and you got to feel guilty. So that's what we do. But I think this should just symbolize all of them that aren't here. I don't want to speak. And by the way, I forgot to say, we actually have a lot in common. My grandmother, or his great-grandmother, was born in Iowa on a farm, 60 miles from where my wife grew up in Nebraska. And we didn't have 200,000 chickens, by the way. But in Boston, we did have 500, which, if you think about the size of the land, was actually, I think we were at it for square foot. And I don't want to speak for my parents, but they're not here. And there's, by the way, the second half is fun. It was a big day when the Seamates left Boston. And if my parents were here, they'd be able to tell you whatever they think. I wrote a letter to my mother when I was in England playing football, and that's when the Seamates left. At that time, they lived about a mile away. They were over the house constantly. The next door neighbors had a pool, and they would hang out at the pool, and it was like every afternoon, and there was something called a mudslide, and I don't even know if they put ice cream in it, but it was a big drink, and they would have a great time. And the Seamates were coming over all the time, and holidays, we'd spend it together with the Newtses. And I wrote this, it's a lengthy letter, but there's only one part that matters here. And I think it reflects what my parents felt about the Seamates. I guess the adventure for the Seamates is about to go. I really do not know what to say.
I know you have a special place for your closest grandchildren that will be hard to fill. I think Craig has become a somewhat irreplaceable part of the family in daily life, and Michelle, with one L, has blossomed into a wonderful mother and a good friend to you, Mom. I have no idea what else to say, but I pray for them. I pray for them. Well, I think it all worked out well. We're here, right? And I think that's probably enough sentimentality at this point. Okay. We do have one more thing concerning that, though. Once I learned of your family, I had the honor of talking to some people in Georgia. And it's obvious that the Sandlin family is a great family in the state. So I had this nice chance where this is dear Mr. and Mrs. Kyle C. Maynard, who are here. I wanted to take, I'm sorry, this is from the Secretary of Agriculture of Georgia. And it was very easy to get because they knew the Sandlin family. I wanted to take some time to recognize the two of you on your marriage and congratulate you on your commitment to each other. This pandemic has created many challenges for all of us. Your perseverance through these hard times is admirable. The Sandlin family is a great asset to Southwest Georgia and Decatur County and has been for decades. Farming is a way of life, and it takes people like you to show the importance of local agriculture and to support your state's #1 industry. Thank you for everything that your family has done and help support Georgia producers and consumers. Wish you the best of luck as you begin your journey together, and I pray your marriage is healthy, happy, and long. Gary Black. I'll give it to you later. So, with that being said, we should now focus on the couple. But you did this, by the way, to yourself when you came to Boston and said, wow, you guys are pretty entrenched here in Boston. So I'm going to try and show you how entrenched we are. And also, you spoke at your graduation, right? Were you the valedictorian? Salutatory. Yeah. I think there should be a recount. Well, here we go. Usually so proud. What an accomplishment. But I have to say, what Kyle did in college, from my standpoint, I think for-profit cake parties surpass any result in your education. I mean, because you're trying to learn business, that's starting a business. And I think that's just one of the most proper things I've ever heard in my life. I understand you're also a yoga teacher, right? With the Alliance, with the Yoga Alliance. I had a nice conversation with the president up in Virginia. She thinks you're doing a great job. They send their love. I think you're at Highland? Is it Highland? Did you reach 500 hours yet?
Yes, I've taught 4 years.
There you go. There you go. Not that I did any research on this. Well, I tried to do the warrior pose. I tried to do a lot of poses. There was a lot of Advil. There's only one pose. Irishman in repose. So anyways, what's really neat is, as much as the secretary was happy, and I won't read this, but the governor sent you a letter too, and his wife, honoring your marriage, which is kind of neat. But what we really do, what I found here, and I mean this to all you people, there's a reason why people go to an Irish pub. It's not for the food. Nobody wants a boiled dinner. It's not, it might be for the booze, but that's another story. It's for the warmth. And the warmth back in Ireland was, you lived in a sod house, it was cold. You'd go to the pub, there was a fire, but there was also human warmth. And that's what I've got here. You got the fam, you got the Giovanni, and as I've walked around and talked to people, you can feel what you've done. The type of people you attract to yourself. It's just great. And I really applaud you for that. As does, we just keep going over here. This is a letter from the oldest charitable society in the world, country, the Irish Charitable Society. And when I told them, fond farming, and when I told them about the yoga, they have 2 Nobel Prize winners who recently commented about it. The Nobel Prize winner for peace, David Hume, said if there were more units like this in the world, there'd be less conflict and hatred. And Seamus Heaney, Nobel laureate of literature, said, never has a group stayed relevant for so many years. They were started in 1720, and Catholics and Protestants were allowed in first. They have a nice write-up here about your grandparents, which is kind of cool. And now we come to the piece de resistance. In communication with the Republic of Ireland, the top says, it says, Compras a sao de Labans. Anybody know the Gaelic? Anybody know the Gaelic? No? Congratulations on this your wedding day. Let it be known that I, Lord Mayor Richard F. Gormley, as a duly authorized representative of the Irish nation and having secured the honor to be hereby proclaim that the marriage of Kyle Seamead and Brittany Sandlin is for all, to recognize the declared and for prosperity the sanctioned Irish wedding in all of the United States on this day, September 18th, in the year of our Lord 2021. Honestly, this is actually hard to get. And you are will be recognized forever as the Irish wedding in the United States.
But that, if this is the Irish wedding, I feel like it's not Irish enough. I'm gonna go look for Lucky.
Lucky's my leprechaun. He usually follows me around. He might have some clovers outside that make it just a little more Irish. I don't know. We're all Irish. We're all Irish. Maybe some clovers. I don't know what's coming. Well, let's see what we have here. We have humans. What did Lucky do? Now, does anyone know why you wear a wedding ring? In ancient Druid days, they would form a circle in a ceremony for the circle of the wedding and the marriage. This is what that is, and this is what they'll be showing you. You know, these technology problems. So there's only one thing left. I heard, thank God, didn't I? Go somewhere. There's only one thing left, and that's to make this Boston Irish, which is loud and obnoxious, and I'm sorry, but it is. There is a little known fact that, what is your middle name?
Kyle Richard Forward.
Yeah.
The triple extra. He's named after Bobby Orr and Larry Bird, the two greatest athletes prior to Tom Brady in Boston. But also because, I believe, your father worked at the Garden and actually gave me one of the best jobs in my life doing security at concerts. It made me such a better person. It really made me grow up, and I always thank you for that. So here we are. I think we need to get a little loud. We need to get a little jumpy. Feel free to stand. And if you want to know what to say, when they say Boston, AAO. We're done.
Would anybody else want to give a toast? No, I'm just kidding.
One last toast. In Ireland, we say sláinte for cheers. Sláinte! Thank you very much.
Thank you.
One more round of applause.